Welcome back to another GeoGuessr country streak video, and I'm very excited to announce that I have reached a new personal best. And in this video I'll be showing it to you and explaining my thought process in each location. If you enjoy these country streaks explain videos, press that like button and here we go. So first location, here we don't have any obvious clues, but my first thought when I saw this location was Brazil. Double yellow lines, pretty red soil, nothing much to lose, so I don't even look around, I just guess Brazil. And it is. Next location, I zoom in, I see that maximum sign here. In Canada, these signs say maximum. In the US, they will say speed limit. I see it says maximum here, so I'm pretty sure it's Canada. In this location, I have a look at the bollards. The bollards look quite Lithuanian. So, that's Lithuania. Knowing bollards in rural locations definitely pays off. Here in this location, I noticed that white Google car that we're driving on the left side. This sign, the En-roads you see in South Africa, basically. So, sign is to the north, I guess South Africa. Here, these black and yellow stripes going all the way to the ground, and also we have this wide blur. Both are good clues that we would be in Taiwan. So here, this is an easy one. We get this Google car with this kind of camera thingy or mirror on the left side. You see that in Kenya. This one here, it is good to notice is that we have these, again, three white lines in the middle, two solid, one dashed, as we did in South Africa before. And also we have these yellow lines here, which are both good clues about Southern Africa. And Generation 2 gives away that it is South Africa in particular, because South Africa is the only country in Africa which might have Generation 2 camera. On this location we're driving on the left side, as you can see, and I noticed these license plates with white in two sections. In Indonesian license plates there will be 3 white sections, in Malaysian ones there will be 2. Here this is another Kenyan car. This time instead of the mirror on the left side we get the snorkel on the right side. That's another car that you might get in Kenya, so I guess they're instantly. Now what do we have here? I zoom in, look at some of the plates, I notice we have some yellow plates, some white plates, which makes me think Denmark, and then I noticed that we have the domain name here as well, which .dk is Denmark. Next location here, we notice again these En-roads, again Generation 2 camera, so that's another easy South Africa. Here we have Generation 2 camera, but this time all the road lines are white, also the sidelines. And I zoom in on the bollards also match Australia. Driving on the left side, so we guess Australia there. Looking at this bollard, you can get it in a couple of countries, but I was thinking this one looks particularly Hungarian. I feel like in Croatia, where you mostly see these bollards as well, the bollards are kind of more sharp, if that makes sense. This one looked very round, so that was the main reason why I decided to go Hungary. And it was. Luckily it was. But you can get those bollards in a couple of countries. Here we get Chinese language. And also we had that white blur around us, as you can see. You can get this white blur or low car in a couple of countries, but we are driving on the right side. If we were driving on the left side, it would be Japan. Since we're driving on the right side, I guess Taiwan. Here, this one is an easy one, the Google car, and of course the nature just feels very Kyrgyz. A lot of these mountains, beautiful mountains, and this Google car, of course, was also unique to Kyrgyzstan there. Here we are driving on the left side with these bollards that we noticed, these black and white stripy bollards. You get those bollards in Indonesia and Thailand. So I'm thinking those two countries at this point. I look around a little bit more. I see some Thai text, so that's an easy Thailand. Here again we're driving the left side, but I noticed that this motorcycle has a front plate. You get front plates in Indonesia. Next we have again bollards, a lot of useful bollards in this streak. These bollards, you can get similar ones in other countries, but in Austria generally these reflectors will be darker. In other countries with these bollards like Slovenia and Montenegro, those reflectors will be generally red instead of like dark black. But you can get red ones in Austria as well, so keep that in mind. So this time I see something that is US or Canada. I look around at these signs, can't really read anything. I'm thinking maybe US, but I'm not sure. Could be Canada as well. I spent a while looking here, but what I luckily noticed is that I think it says rue here, R-U-E, which means street in French. And if you see French in North America, well, it will be Canada. So I guess Quebec. and it was Quebec. Here we have another bollard. That's a Danish bollard, so I guess Denmark. If you want to practice your bollards, I have a map with different typical bollards around the world. I will leave it in the description below. It's called Attractive Bollards of the Universe. So that's a good map if you want to practice your bollards. As you can see, it really pays off. What I notice here is that we have this black sticker on the pole. You get this black sticker or a sign in mainland Malaysia in particular, and the language looked like it might be Malaysian as well. I can never really tell apart Malaysian and Indonesian languages, but that black thingy on the pole really helped there. Here we have a bunch of bollards, which I thought looks kind of similar to Spanish ones. And what I remember is that you can get bollards similar to Spanish ones in Chile. And when I pan the camera a little bit more, I noticed this Google car, which is unique to Chile. This white car with this black part here visible. So I guess Chile, and it is luckily Chile. We move on. 22 streak already, which I'm getting very excited. It's a big streak. These poles, these small metal parts at the top that you can see, those you will mostly see in Lithuania, the vast majority of the time. Here we are driving the right side that I notice, and we notice this these yellow plates, and also this what we call Colombian cross. This white cross on the white sign, that's his Colombian cross. These bollards are in Canada, I guess Alberta, but it was Northern Territories. Well, for these purposes, doesn't matter. Canada is Canada. Here I zoom in on the pedestrian crossing sign. I know it's not Spanish, so not Spain. I look at the license plates and I notice there's blue on both sides. The front plate was smaller, so those are Italian license plates. Here are more bollards. These are Turkish bollards. I look a little bit more around, but the nature also feels very Turkish, the mountains, so I was confident. You can get similar bollards in Romania as well, but just the nature felt very Turkish there. This round was a little bit tricky, because I didn't see any very obvious clues. I couldn't really read the language properly here, but I thought that these signs, in Italy, these signs often will have kind of like almost a black back, like similar to Brazil. In Brazil you also can have a black back, but in Italy you can also get a black sign back. So that sign back convinced me to go Italy there. And it was. These are again bollards, more bollards. First of all, these are Spanish bollards with these yellow reflectors, and also these are Spanish guardrails. In Spain you will get these yellow reflectors on these guardrails. So that's kind of double confirmation that this is Spain. So this was a tricky round. It took me a while. I was looking around a little bit. It was between US and Canada, of course, because it just looks very North American. Some English language on those signs, but nothing that really gives away the country here. What made me go Canada here was this blue street sign. It's not 100% clue or anything, but in general, if you see blue street signs, you are more likely to be in Canada. With green street signs, you will more likely be in the US. I saw those blue street signs. The nature felt it might be Canadian. I didn't see any palm trees or anything, so I decided to go Canada, and it was. The next round we have Generation 2 camera. The bollards are Australian, so I go Australia. Here we have very Southeast Asian looking place. What I notice here is this satellite dish. These see-through satellite dishes you will see in Indonesia and Brazil. Well, this didn't really look like Brazil, so that dish made me think probably Indonesia here. After looking around a little bit more, I just guess Indonesia, and it is. Here we are driving on the left side, wide white plate, so it's not the UK. It could only be Ireland. So here, these red and white chevrons are quite Russian. With this big red part, you will see that a lot in Russia. Also this bollard, very thick bollard. In Russia there are many different bollards, these thick ones, one of the types that you could see. Also I noticed this long antenna, also common in Russia, not a red car. In Ukraine you will often see a red car. I zoom in on the license plate. There I don't see any strips or anything, so I'm thinking it probably will be Russia. So I lock it in. Next, I notice this car. Immediately I'm thinking Ghana, because you see this Google car in Ghana. I look down, yes, I see a tape, and I guess Ghana. In Ghana you will get that tape on the right side of the Google car. I know some people don't like to play with metas. Well, without metas, it's still doable. You can recognize Ghana, it just will not be instantly. So I look at the sign, I'm thinking Latin America, maybe Argentina. I noticed this plate here, which reminds me of the new style of Argentinian plates. And also I noticed this plate, which looks like the old style with a black dot in the middle. I look around a little bit more to see some more plates. Yes, we have black dots in the middle on other plates as well. Those are Argentinian plates, so that makes it easy. So now this is a bit more tricky. Looks quite Baltic at the first glance, so I'm looking for some country-specific clues for Baltics. What I noticed is that we have a lot of these small blurs at random places, like here and here, and in some other places you can see around, like here on that house. A lot of these small random blurs around, and in Baltics in particular, those random blurs are common in Lithuania. So I look around a little bit more and I notice this sign in the distance. This sign is common in Lithuania as well. On the right side, this basically, it's hard to tell, but once you know, that's like a Lithuanian flag on the right side. So after I see that sign, I know it's 100% Lithuania. Next, we have some Kuting text. Not sure, I'm thinking it might be a city or not. Here we have again these three white lines in the middle, so I'm thinking somewhere in southern Africa. I am between, like South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini. This doesn't really feel like Eswatini. In Eswatini you would have more trees. I'm just thinking it feels very much like Lesotho, these bare mountains with some revealed rocks around. I'm taking my time to consider everything because the streak is 37 at this point, so generally the larger the streak goes, the more time I spend on locations just to verify. This one was an easy one. Here we have South Korea. We had some language, Korean language there, and also these black and yellow stripes that don't go all the way to the ground are also Korean. In Korea you can get a black car and a yellow line in the middle as well. This location was another easy one. We have this R letter with this check mark on top. That's a Czech letter. And also in Czechia you will see these small black signs with white text. Those are also found uniquely, as far as I know, in Czechia. And we have reached streak of 40, which is really good, so I'm starting to get excited. Will I get a personal best or not? So here we get... I just now noticed that we had a flag that I did not notice. So I'm looking at all the plates. I thought this was an Indonesian plate with, again, 1, 2, and 3 sections. It's hard to see, but it looked like it might be. If I saw that flag behind us, that would have helped. I did not see it. But yeah, so I decided to go with Indonesia. Seeing that flag behind us would have helped, but still got there. Again, these bollards, as I mentioned before, they sometimes have these black reflectors, but behind us that other bollard had a red reflector. The language that I see often, that is German. On that other sign I thought I also saw some German. These are Austrian bus stops, so I go with Austria here. Oh, this round. Okay, this round was a tricky one. I was sure I was going to lose my streak on this. So first of all, we get this antenna here. You get this particular Google antenna in a couple of countries, them being Mexico, Ecuador, Colombia, and Brazil. I look at the sun here. Sun appears to be a little bit north. But the reason why I'm really confused in this situation is that in Latin American countries, you usually get yellow middle line, white outer lines. In this location, we have yellow outer lines and white middle line. Usually you get these yellow, white, yellow combinations in like South Africa, Jordan, but not in Latin America, so that makes no sense. I decided to trust the antenna here because road lines sometimes can be very weird, as we found out in my previous streak video. I'm looking at the cacti. These cacti in general, when I see cacti like these, I'm thinking Mexico, Italy, or Malta, basically. Those are the top 3 countries that I think. So I'm starting to lean Mexico. Even though the sun is to the north, even though the road lines make absolutely no sense, I decide to go with Mexico because of the cacti and the general feeling. Just felt like Mexico is the only one that makes at least some sense. And after a lot of deliberation, I do go Mexico, and I was very happy at that point. Next round, we have a lot of these bollards on the corners. In Russia, they really love to put bollards every 10 meters on these corners. I noticed the sign and with Russian flag colors, so that is definitely Russia there. I noticed these signs, which appear to be in English. I don't know what is dinnes, but store. Store is an English word, so I'm thinking it probably will be Philippines. You see some political ads as well. You see them a lot in Philippines too. After a little bit, I just go with Philippines, and it was. Before this, my best streak was 51, so that's what I'm going for. This sign, I wasn't sure if I can read it, but it looked like those kind of circular letters that you can get in southern India and Sri Lanka. This wouldn't be southern India, so I'm thinking Sri Lanka at this point. What helped me here was this pole, because in Sri Lanka you will often see these similar to Thai poles, which are kind of square poles, which get more narrow at the top. And this pole looked like that. So I was thinking this looks like a Sri Lanka pole. And combined with that language that I thought I saw looked like Sri Lankan script, I do decide to go there. Here we have another Latin American one, which I was thinking Mexico, because in Mexico you get a lot of overhead signs. So that made me think Mexico. The cars look pretty fancy, some of them, which also you can sometimes see in Mexico. And yeah, and some Coca-Cola signs. You see a lot of Coca-Cola signs in a lot of Latin American countries, but in Mexico in particular. And sun was to the south, so I go with Mexico. Here, another Baltic round, which I spent a little time on. The poles, I thought, looked Lithuanian, because you get these square poles generally in Lithuania, but you can get them in Latvia as well. I was thinking those poles in the distance might have those Lithuanian tops that I showed you before, but again, wasn't sure, a little bit too far to tell for sure. And what I also noticed again were these random blurs that I mentioned before. We get some random blurs again in some places, which kind of convinced me to go Lithuania here. So yeah, I go there, and it was very close to Latvian border actually. So it wasn't too far from Latvia at all. This round wasn't too bad. These yellow middle lines, white outer lines, generation 2, yellow signs, and what I thought I saw the word Tia here, Tia, which means street in Finnish. Now we earn 49. I have a look at this sign. This N letter you get uniquely in Slovakia. So immediately was thinking, looks Slovakian. I was looking around a little bit, but I was pretty sure at this point that it would be Slovakia. 51st round, to my joy, was an easy one. Again, Colombian crosses, these white crosses at the backs of the signs. So I have tied my personal best at this point. And then I see US or Canada round, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no, it's like a 50-50. Could be either one looking like this. Luckily, there was a flag. There was a flag there, which was a Canadian flag. So, yay. Again, close to the border, but 52 streak. And then came this round. Well, as you can see, there is absolutely nothing here. The only thing here was Generation 4. Generation 4 camera. Looks very European. Could be a couple of countries. A bunch of countries in Europe have Generation 4, like France, Czechia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and more. Like Austria, I was thinking, considering here. I was looking around, looking for the tiniest clues here. If anyone maybe notices something that I might have missed. I wasn't sure about this small sign here. I don't think I've ever seen that one before, but maybe that one is unique to this particular country. At the end I decided to go Bulgaria, but it was France. I considered France, but there were just so many other options that I chose another one, unfortunately. But still, it was a personal best, even though it was just by one. But still, I'm very happy about it. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you will enjoy this one on the right side as well, where I explain another very long country streak. Huge thanks to all of the patrons and YouTube members for supporting this channel. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, be kind to one another, and see you in the next video.